for television. So probably if we have all the presentation, it's a good start. The facilities and probably our full so we will just let you know 5 minutes. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. For those who do not know me, my name is Gayatri. I am Tamitre Muthukumar Sami's niece. On behalf of our family, I want to thank you all for being here today. My uncle, from a young age, lived his life with a fierce determination to fight for justice and human rights for all. While we mourn his passing, we are here today to remember a life that was deeply committed to making the world a better, more equitable place for all. Thank you again for your love and support.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kabalayan Rudrakumaran. I am one of the grandnephews of Kumarapata, and I'm here to introduce a few speakers that will come up and speak on his behalf today. Before I begin, I would like to make note that there is a book outside where we would love for you guys to please write your names down and a message for Kumarapata. The first person I'd like to introduce and bring up here is Miriam Young, who is a longtime colleague on Asian human rights advocacy.
Good afternoon, everybody. I have no memory of the first time I actually met Tkuma, because it seems as though Kumar was part of my world from the beginning. I first came to Washington in 1996 to direct a new NGO called the Asia Pacific Center for Justice and Peace. Kumar was my closest colleague through all the years that I worked on human rights issues in the Asia region. There was hardly an issue that the Asia Pacific Center took up that Kumar was not also familiar with and a fellow advocate. We were in the same task forces of like-minded civil society organizations. We went to the same meetings at the State Department, and were both on the list for visiting human rights activists from the region. I remember the 2 trips to Indonesia we went on with President Carter to monitor the first democratic presidential elections after the fall of the dictator Suharto. But what tied us together the most was Sri Lanka-related issues. As executive director of the U.S. Council on Sri Lanka and the U.S. director of the International Working Group on Sri Lanka, I spent the bulk of my career working with civil society groups and activists around the world to advocate for a negotiated political settlement to the 3-decade-long civil war, to highlight human rights abuses, and then to work for accountability for the massive crimes against humanity committed during that war. Although Kumar did not officially work on Sri Lanka, because of Amnesty's rule that staff members are not allowed to work on their own country, it was widely known in our circles that Kumar was deeply committed to his fellow Tamil people and to justice for his country, and he was willing to help in any way he could. He was always a good sounding board on strategy, someone I could talk with in detail about Sri Lankan and Tamil politics. He was always generous with his knowledge, his contacts, and suggestions. And this applied not just to Sri Lanka, but to all issues he worked with. I can tell you such generosity is not that common in Washington, in the scene here, not even in the NGO world. In recent years, we were no longer in regular touch, as he had left Amnesty and I had reduced much of my work. But 3 or 4 months ago, Kumar called me out of the blue, and we had a long chat. We reminisced about our past work, asking each other about various colleagues, and we heard from them. We remarked what a changed landscape Washington is now for people working in our field of human rights. It was a rather wistful conversation, as I guess is normal for old colleagues whose careers are behind them. By chance, I was just in Sri Lanka for several weeks to visit friends and colleagues after a long time. I was looking forward to getting in touch with Kumar to share news of common friends and the current political situation. But 2 days after my return, I woke in the middle of the night to find a message from Sri Lanka that Kumar had passed away. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the young woman who first notified me was a mentee and former intern of Kumar's at Amnesty. He touched so many people. In my religion, there is a phrase from a parable in the Bible that is sometimes used in memorial services. I can think of no truer words to describe Kumar's life. Well done, good and faithful servant.
Next, I would like to introduce a few individuals from Amnesty International, with the first being Frank Januzzi. He is the president and CEO of the Maureen and Mike Mansfield Foundation. He was also Kumar Pata's supervisor for a few years.
Good afternoon. It would be inappropriate to say that I was Kumar's supervisor. I think I was his student. My name is Frank Januzzi, and I served as Deputy Director of Amnesty International USA and the director of its Washington office from 2012 to 2014. And I just want to share some reflections of the extraordinary life of Tkuma, who I first met as a young man of 30 working on Capitol Hill. Now, as an older man of 61, I have come to understand some things about Kumar that I did not fully appreciate when he showed up at my office unannounced with no invitation in the spring of 1997, just as I was moving into my new office working for Senator Joe Biden on the Foreign Relations Committee. Kumar had an amazing radar. He could keep track of every movement of everyone in Washington, D.C. who might be an ally or maybe an opponent of his efforts to promote human rights. So he just showed up at my door one day, and he had a way about him, an earnestness, a humility, an authority that made it impossible for me to turn him away. So while I was unpacking in my office, we sat down and had a chat, and it was the beginning of a 30-year friendship. There are some people in this world who are shaped by the events of their lives. And it's very tempting for me to see Kumar this way. An ethnic Tamil raised in Sri Lanka, Kumar was an early witness to ethnic and religious persecution. And although he spoke rarely of it, he was himself a victim of human rights abuses and torture from a young age, wrongful imprisonment and beatings. Were those the experiences that caused him to care for the downtrodden? Amnesty International rallied in response to Kumar's plight, and they mounted a global campaign to free him as a prisoner of conscience. Is this where Kumar learned the power of collective action? Kumar became a lawyer and a human rights champion, beginning his legal studies while he was still in prison. In choosing this field, was he inspired perhaps by his father, a magistrate, to use laws and rules to help hold the powerful accountable, to bend the world toward justice. After making his way to the United States, Kumar got a law degree at the University of Pennsylvania, and he studied the root causes of injustice and some of the remedies. Is this where he began to believe that public policy and advocacy could affect change? Finally, at Amnesty International, coming full circle, he was for more than 30 years a tireless advocate for those whose own voices had been silenced, speaking truth to power. Was this where he became aware of the power of his own example and determined to mentor others to one day follow in his footsteps? Maybe, but I don't think so. Kumar was, of course, the sum of his experiences, the love of family, hardships, his faith and education, his professional life. All of this did shape him. But I prefer to see Kumar like one of Michelangelo's prisoners of stone, those 4 powerful statues in Florence, each one being liberated from the block of marble that they are surrounded by an artist. Life experience did not create Kumar. It revealed who he was. Kumar was empathetic. His own suffering did not make him self-absorbed or solipsistic. It just confirmed his compassion for others. Kumar was an optimist. Repression did not defeat him. It doubled his resolve to acquire the tools he needed to help affect change in the world. He never thought a situation was hopeless or without remedy. It was only our own lack of imagination that might limit the possibilities for change. Kumar saw power in community. When others rallied to support him, he didn't think, oh, I must be very special. He thought, we are all special, and here is a method I can deploy to try to give voice to the voiceless. And when wandering the corridors of power, or testifying before Congress, or lobbying foreign leaders, or seeking out new Senate staff people in the Dirksen building that might be subject to his influence, he didn't praise, he didn't flatter, he didn't shame or condemn. He listened. He sought common ground, and he never gave up. When younger colleagues came to Kumar's office when I was at Amnesty for advice, he did not rain wisdom down on them. He invited us to open up and share our own views with him. He listened, and only then he might offer some gentle guidance, or maybe a contrasting view, all of it designed to foster our own growth as human beings and our own development of our compassionate instincts. So like Michelangelo's prisoners of stone, Kumar was ever unfinished, as is the world that he sought to liberate from bonds of repression and injustice. His response was ever to lift up those who were beaten down, to pursue justice, to treat everyone fairly, and to meet anger with joy, defeatism with hope, and hatred with love. So I will miss you, Kumar. May you rest in power. And thank you for all you've taught me. Thank you.
Next, I would like to introduce Iris Ho, who is head of campaign and policy plan with African Sanctuary Alliance. She's worked with Kumar on Uyghur and Taiwan human rights issues for many years.
Good afternoon, everyone, and condolences to Sipam and Kumar's family. I first met Kumar 25 years ago when I was fresh out of graduate school at George Washington University. And I was working for a Taiwanese American grassroots advocacy organization. And it was during that job that I got to know and work with Kumar because I was liaising with human rights leaders and activists who were fighting for freedom and democracy in their homelands in Asia. And then I switched career to wildlife conservation and animal welfare. And I think some of you might know that just a few months ago, the world lost a conservation giant, Dr. Jane Goodall. And back in December, I was at an international biodiversity conference, and there was a special tribute to Dr. Jane Goodall, and I was one of the speakers. And as the last few days, or the last few weeks, knowing about the passing of Kumar, and I was just grappling with his passing, and then all of a sudden it hit me that Dr. Jane Goodall and Kumar, they embody the same characters in my book. At paying tribute to Dr. Jane Goodall, I said to the audience that she showed us that you don't have to be the loudest person in the room to make a difference. And you don't have to have an outsized and extrovert personality to be a change maker, to inspire people around you. And that was Kumar to me. For me, his power, his influence, and his leadership were quiet but firm, soft but resilient. And when I was growing up in Taiwan as a young girl, Amnesty International was the most well-known international human rights organization. It played such a transformative role in Taiwan's journey from authoritarian regime to democracy. And so when I came to Washington, D.C. and pursued my degree and then started working in human rights, and I couldn't believe that Amnesty International was literally right around the corner where I was working at that time, and that I got to collaborate with such an esteemed organization like Amnesty International and, with people like Kumar. He was a reliable and constant partner, and I could always count on him to speak at the rallies, the protests, press conferences that my organization and I were organizing, from Capitol Hill or Lafayette Square to, in front of the Chinese embassy. And I mean, there were so many photos that we saw here, and, for me, the photos of him, speaking at press conferences, at rallies, that's always going to be my memories of Kumar forever. That's just etched in my memory. He rallied the crowd at these events, the Taiwanese, the Uyghurs, the Tibetans, and more. And, he lended his presence to us, and his presence mattered to us probably more than he ever knew. And I think there are many quiet heroes, everyday heroes, who may not be on the cover of Time magazine or be featured on CNN Heroes. But even though Kumar could have been one, and his legacy and his impact is felt by all of us in this room, and even extending beyond people in faraway lands, people's human rights that he's fought for all his life, who didn't know his name, but his legacy is in so many people around the world. And when I was reading the memorial piece that we all got just entering this room, and I just realized that the day of his passing was Martin Luther King Day, and I don't think that's a coincidence. That's just so powerful. And so Kumar, please rest in peace and rest in power, my friend. And Thank you so much for sharing your gift and talents to this world.
Next, I would like to introduce Adote Akwe, Advisor, Movement Building and Member Engagement at Amnesty International. He worked with Kumar Pata for many years.
Good afternoon. First, I'd like to thank Kumar's family and for giving us the opportunity to say a few words today. I'm going to look mostly at this paper because I'm not sure I trust my emotions. We're gathered here to grieve the loss of a leader, a mentor, a true human rights champion, and a dear friend. And as we grapple with this tremendous loss, I think we must remember, and I'm sure Kumar would also want this, to celebrate his exceptional life, to look forward and not to be stuck in the sadness of the past. I first met Kumar when he joined the government relations team of Amnesty International in 1995. He was the Asia Advocacy Director. Prior to this, Kumar had not only served on the AIUSA board, but he had also been a prisoner of conscience, inspiring AIUSA and Amnesty across the world to campaign on his behalf as he endured torture and unspeakable cruelty in an effort to secure justice for the members of the Tamil community in Sri Lanka. In other words, he was not just another colleague, but one of the movement's leaders. People that we rarely get to meet, and even more rarely get to meet in person and say thank you. With a background like that, you can imagine that my expectations of Kumar were pretty sky high. But the man who ended up walking into the office that day and who would become a true friend in the 30 years that followed exceeded them in every way. Kumar often reminded me that it was not enough to fight the fight, you had to live it. And he did so in exemplary fashion. Kumar did not refuse or reject an issue or avoid trying to help someone. I don't think it was possible for him to say no. He did not ever shirk from taking on an abuse or any kind of risk, even if it was outside of his portfolio. In fact, I think we probably all agree that Kumar's work portfolio was the world, and he held that title as the Global Advocacy Director, a job that was actually usually done by about 7 people, many of whom are here in the room with me and us. Kumar worked with everyone. The joke for over 30 years of government relations staff in Amnesty International was that Kumar not only knew everyone on Capitol Hill and in the executive branch, he was on a first-name basis. Whenever I went into a meeting in a congressional office, it began with, "How is my friend Kumar?" Or it ended with, "Please say hello to Kumar." All of us remember seeing Kumar with the cell phone, always talking to someone, making some meeting or helping someone. He was always, always busy. Even in meetings where other things were going on, Kumar was already multitasking. This came from staff on Capitol Hill as well as from actual members of Congress. That kind of respect and affection only comes in response to genuine credibility over the years. That was Kumar. Kumar also appeared to have lived all over the world, so his network among the NGO community was equally awe-inspiring. There are pictures that we saw here of Kumar in the desert with people wearing what I would think are desert-like clothing, but that was Kumar. Kumar knew about Western Sahara before I knew about Western Sahara. Whenever they came to DC, NGOs would usually look for him to get his advice and to get his support in advocacy to the US government. And of course, Kumar always helped. Activists from Myanmar, Pakistan, Xinjiang to Afghanistan, Kumar helped them all. Kumar championed justice for the comfort woman from Korea to lead coalitions in support of Mukhtar Mai in Pakistan, his commitment to the dignity and rights of the individual were incandescent and unwavering. And as others have said already, Kumar attended every rally, vigil, letter writing event that Amnesty did in the DC area, and he would also support the efforts of Amnesty member groups and other NGOs. He was the true partner and a coalition member. Kumar was a visionary leader in the human rights world, but he was also deeply human, and in many ways his humanity is the greatest gift that he gave to all of us in this room. He was down to earth, informal, collegial with everyone, and as many people would remember, he had a wonderful sense of humor. Kumar played a special role in my personal life also, by finding the priest who married Radha and myself. Being a Ghanaian man, Kumar was aware of the cultural sensitivities that we were negotiating when we got married. Suffice it to say that the priest he found for us not only did a wonderful job of officiating our event and educating the people who attended, but he also eased some of the concerns that we faced and moved our reconciliation forward with many members of our family. Several years later, Kumar insisted that our son Vikram, who I had brought to the office one day, attend a briefing with the then president of Malta. And he made sure that Kumar got to shake his hand and ask a question. Vikram was only 7 or 8. One can only imagine what the president of Malta was thinking, but Kumar made it happen. That was Kumar. I will end by repeating what I said to friends when I heard the news of his passing. Kumar was the real thing, the human rights survivor who had grace and strength to continue fighting without fear or bitterness or anger. He went on to shape almost anyone who encountered him, leaving a multitude of human rights activists who were inspired by him, as well as fond memories in his wake. So, his story must not be forgotten, because it is a reminder of what we can do even in the darkest times and afterwards. I count myself very blessed to have known him, to have worked with him over my career, and to have called him a friend. The space that he leaves behind will not be filled soon or easily, but I will hold on to his light and compassion and share it whenever I can and wherever I can. I want to thank his family for sharing him with us, because that was the most gracious gift that you could have given him. So, my friend Kumar, rest in power and our love.
Next, I would like to introduce Sue Gunawardena Vaughn, Global Lead Grant Strategy and Malala Fund. She worked with Kumar Pata for several years and was a friend of his for over 25 years.
Vanakkam. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am bereft to be here today. I want to extend my heartfelt condolences to Kumar's beloved wife, Siva, and to all his family and loved ones gathered here to honor the passing of a remarkable human being. I'm originally from Sri Lanka, and you can say from my last name that I'm Sinhalese. I was born in Colombo. Kuba and I knew Sri Lanka during the height of the Civil War and the genocide of the Tamil people in my country. I have known Kumar for almost 25 years, 18 of them, thank you, 18 of them working together, but also being a friend. I was expecting to catch up with him at an Indian restaurant, as was our tradition. in the new year, not delivering his eulogy today. But here we are, remembering and celebrating his inspiring life and his extraordinary legacy. It is a devastating loss for me. And the profound grief that I feel will be with me for a very long time. It starkly reminds me again how life is so very precious and so very fragile. Many of you who knew Kumar here today, apart from his family, knew him through his amazing human rights work. Kumar was a very private guy, and I am so honored that he let me into his personal life so that I could meet Siva. Siva and he would come, and my dad passed away earlier this year, earlier last year, and before that, Siva and Kumar would come over to the house and have Sri Lankan food, play with my dog. Siva loved animals. And while I met him at Amnesty and through our human rights work, I used to work on the death penalty and work with him for many years on the death penalty in China and Indonesia, and on many different campaigns on the Uyghurs, on religious freedom. I'm going to tell you about Kumar, who was my dear friend. While Kumar was so courageous, as all of you have mentioned, speaking truth to power no matter the cost to himself, what I loved and admired about him the most was his unrelenting integrity and compassion. He was one of the most principled people that I have ever met in my life. I used to yell at him and say that he was foolishly principled. His immense suffering as a political prisoner at the hands of a brutal Sri Lankan government should have made him bitter. It did not. It would have made me bitter. But there was no hint of bitterness in Kumar. Only kindness, only empathy, compassion for all living beings. I would constantly chastise him that his idealism was unrealistic in a world that is frequently brutal and unforgiving. Despite the fact that Kumar had spent long stints in prison and received brutal treatment for speaking out about the human rights violations against his Tamil community in our native Sri Lanka, he never lost sight of his optimism, his gentleness, his kindness, his empathy, and his belief in the good of all humanity. Kumar was the personification of hope. He inspired a generation of young activists around the world, including myself, to imagine a world where my freedom is intrinsically tied to your freedom. Kumar and I also shared a deep love of animals, even though Siva was scared of my dog when she jumped up on her, but Siva always calmed, Kumar always calmed Siva, and my dog loved Kumar, Sasha. In his office at Amnesty, for those of you who might remember, way back when, decades ago, Kumar used to have a fish tank. And once when he came back from a long vacation, he discovered that his fish had died because someone had forgotten to feed them. He was so grief-struck by his dead fish when I happened to go into his office to chat about something related to work that morning. So there used to be a pet store on 8th Street before 8th Street became gentrified. And I walked over there during the lunch hour and I got him some goldfish to surprise him. When I returned to the office holding the bag with the fish, Kumar was so excited and happy. He was like a little boy. He was so thrilled to see the fish, and it touched my heart that such a simple gesture could make this human rights icon, this international legend, this human rights giant so very, very happy. My one condition when I gifted him the fish was that he had to name one of the fish after me. So he told me that he named the bossy one Sue. And that was our little joke. Kumar did so many kind things for me over the years when he didn't have to. During my many job searches, he would reach out to his vast network of contacts and always put in a good word for me. Always vouch for me, probably against his better judgment. He was my trusted mentor, my go-to person for career advice. And frequently at Amnesty in those days, he would talk me off the ledge when I was frustrated and having a meltdown. He was always mentoring younger staff, inspiring them, advising them, guiding them, connecting them. My father, who also passed away recently, was so fond of Kumar. And I imagined them together now, a Tamil man from Jaffna and a Sinhalese man from Gaul, talking and laughing about Sri Lankan politicians and Sri Lankan politics. There is so much I want to share about my phenomenal friend, but in the interest of time, I'm going to read you something that perfectly captures Kumar's essence and his life. This is from one of my favorite authors, Anuk Arudpragasam, a Sri Lankan Tamil writer, and it's a passage from the story of a brief marriage. It recounts the marriage of a Tamil boy and girl over a 24-hour period in a refugee camp in the Northeast at the height of Sri Lanka's brutal civil war and genocide against the Tamils. Quote, "Perhaps this was why, as one grew older, one broke down and cried for oneself less, because tears for oneself could only come when one ignored the suffering of everybody else, or pretended at least that it was not significant. As you got older, the suffering of others became more difficult to ignore, as you saw more of life and became more a part of the world. It became harder to imagine that the pain you faced was unique and in need of special attention, and as a result, crying for yourself felt indulgent unless you could pretend that nobody else existed or that your own pain was different and exceptional. While Kumar was exceptional, he knew his pain was not exceptional, and he never cried for himself. He never ignored the suffering of anybody else or pretended that it was not significant. He always sacrificed his own happiness for other people. There are thousands of people across the world today, Tamils, Sinhalese, Uyghurs, Tibetans, Ukrainians, Afghans, Armenians, Papuans, the list is endless, who are alive today, whose children are alive today, because Kumar made enormous sacrifices to do his human rights activism and advocacy. Their struggle was his struggle. Their humanity was his humanity. Their liberation was his liberation. I know that for all of us, especially Kumar's beloved wife, Siva, whom he absolutely adored, it is hard to imagine a world without Kumar. Kumar was Hindu. I'm a practicing Christian. And I do believe that in some future life, that he and I will meet again. A Tamil Hindu boy from Jaffna and a Sinhalese Christian girl from Colombo, enjoying some good buddy. Until then, I leave you with the words of a Sufi poet that I really love, Rumi. Goodbyes are only for those who love with their eyes, because for those who love with their heart and soul, there is no such thing as separation. Rest in peace, dear Kumar. You were too good for this world, and now you are in a place worthy of that goodness. May you finally find the liberation you fought for all your life. May your inspiring legacy live on in all of us. Until we meet again. Anma Santi Adaitum Mikka Nandri. Thank you.
Next, I would like to introduce Wushang Sarang, who is with the International Campaign for Tibet.
I'm a Tibetan, and on behalf of the Tibetan people, I would like to offer our heartfelt condolences to Mr. Tkumar's family. You may not know much of us in terms of his interaction, but we Tibetans have gained much from Kumar's work here in Washington, D.C. He taught us the value of wisdom, empathy, compassion, many of these words you've been hearing today, which all of us have benefited from. He was always available to the Tibetan people, whether it's a rally, a meeting, or a personal counseling, whatever it is, so that he can add the value of Amnesty International to the work that we were trying to do, and thus we can benefit from it. And therefore, while working here, always enjoyed a cordial relationship with him, and he was there to counsel us for every opportunity. I would oftentimes get calls, something, Buchung Kumar here, and then there would be some suggestion of opportunity somewhere, whether it's a meeting in the administration or meeting on the hill or taking up something. He was particularly very much interested in the issue of the Panchen Lama. Many of you may not be familiar with him. He is the most important Tibetan Buddhist Lama, or most well-known after the Dalai Lama. And he passed away, and his reincarnation was coincidentally in the same year, 1995, when Kumar joined Amnesty. Reincarnation was detained by the Chinese government, and he hasn't been released to this day. He has been called the youngest political prisoner. And Kumar did everything possible to make the administration here and Congress here put their weight behind his case. And anything, if the administration has done for the Panchen Lama, Kumar has a mark in that. That's I'm very much sure. It wasn't just that he used Amnesty's platform. He also went beyond the call of his duty, including the call of his organizational duty. The reason why I say this is because the Tibetan issue has human rights element, but it's more than human rights. Amnesty has a rule, if I may say so, that Amnesty deals only with human rights. So whenever we had any events on Tibet that might go, because issue is so interlinked, might go beyond it, Kumar would always find a creative way to find a solution whereby he could participate and then at the same time not violate the organization's rule. And that's the beauty of his thinking. I'm a Buddhist and I believe in the law of karma. Kumar joined Amnesty in 1995. I joined the International Campaign for Tibet in 1995. We participated together in many hearings, many briefings, even media. I remember in 2008, when there was large protests in Tibet, the Diane Rim show, which is no longer there now, did a special hour-long program on Tibet and the situation. And Kumar and I, we were together there going up to American University to talk about it in front of Diane Rim, and that added to it. So if the law of karma holds true, and if Kumar's religious belief also includes belief in the future rebirth, I have no doubt that the law of karma will take him to a better place. And we Buddhists, whenever we have prayers for somebody who has passed away, it's a prayer to our bodhisattva of compassion. And it's apt that because to a compassionate person, I repeat that prayer over here, if you oblige me. It's short, it's called Om Mani Padme Hum. Hail to the jewel in the lotus. It's believed that that compassion will help the deceased person go to a better realm. And I want to end with a quote from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. When he was asked what should be the essence of a person's life, he said, if you can, do good. Even if you cannot do good, don't harm others. Tkuma personified that life. Thank you.
After the next speaker, we will commence the rest of the speeches in 30 minutes time. Next speaker I would like to introduce is Grace Pushparani Williams from the United States Tamil Action Group and Tamil Americans. She worked with Kumar Pata for over 20 years.
Vanakkam. We gather today with deep sorrow at passing of our fellow Tamil American Tkuma. He was a valued, respected, and a senior member of our community, and someone whose life and work touched countless individuals and organizations around the world. Kumar was respected for his life experience, his wisdom, his love for his community, his strong work ethic, and his long and distinguished career in human rights. He worked tirelessly with the US and other governments, the UN, the INGOs, and his Vice Council benefited many organizations in the Tamil diaspora. His firm advocacy helped defend human rights wherever they were violated. I clearly remember the first call I received from Kumar in January 2005, immediately after the tsunami, regarding our advocacy for tsunami relief in the North and East. At the time, Tamil Americans were working to ensure equitable distribution of relief funds in the North and East and to secure international access to the affected areas through the US government, the UN, and the international community. Kumar played a crucial role in helping us find the right senators, members of Congress, INGOs, and others in Washington, D.C. When the ceasefire ended and the war resumed, we advocated with the US and the UN against war crimes and crimes against humanity. Kumar's advice and his connections with high-level officials in the Washington strengthened our efforts. After the war ended in 2009, when our organization USTAG was formed, we continued to rely on his guidance to engage with the US government, the UN Human Rights Council, and the international community. He was always generous with his time, his expertise, and his clarity. We also believed Kumar worked behind the scenes to screen the UK channel's 4 documentaries, Sri Lanka's Killing Fields and No Fire Zone on Capitol Hill, through the Tom Lantos Human Rights Commission. These efforts helped lead to strong resolutions at the UNHRC led by the US. During and after the war, when elected representatives Civil society members, political leaders, and activists from Sri Lanka, India, and other countries visited Washington, D.C. area. They were eager to meet Kumar. I had the honor of accompanying many of them. He always made time, and they left deeply impressed by the depth of the knowledge, his passion, and his unwavering commitment to his people in the homeland. I often wondered how Kumar seemed to know everyone, the powers that be in the US, the UN, the international community, civil society in Sri Lanka, and the Tamil diaspora worldwide, and how he stayed connected with all of them to make a real difference. Kumar frequently reminded us, and even the Sri Lankan embassy in Washington, D.C., that he did not officially cover Sri Lanka at Amnesty. While that was true, we firmly believe that he quietly and unofficially advocated for his people through his high-level contacts. It was well known that US State Department, legislators, INGOs, think tanks, and advocacy organizations regularly sought his advice. As a Washingtonian, I had the privilege of meeting Kumar at many events in Washington, D.C. I especially valued hearing about his early years as a student leader and activist. His commitment to nonviolent protests, sit-ins, fasting, and his courageous fight against the evil caste system were truly inspiring. One of the most powerful actions, possibly the first of its kind in Jaffna, was standing against caste-based discrimination. At a time when the oppressed caste alone was forced to remove human waste in towns without sewer system, Kumar and fellow student activists from the dominant caste broke these barriers by doing the work themselves despite fierce opposition. This act reflected the depth of his moral courage and his lifelong commitment to peace. Kumar shared many such brave stories with me over the years. I often urged him to write his memoirs for the future generations to learn from his brave journey. I was deeply grateful when he told me about the book in April, From Political Prisoner to UN Advocate. I am pleased to share that his friend and fellow activist Jayakumar Ayyadurai is in the process of having this book translated into Tamil and printed. Kumar was also portrayed in the Tamil book Lanka Rani by Arular. Kumar believed strongly in the importance of meeting people in person. When we invited him recently at the US TAG's 2025 annual strategy session on October 31st in New Jersey, he chose to attend in person even though a virtual option was available. He let me know that meeting in person was very effective and he would be able to meet all the other participants too. We were very fortunate to spend the day with him at Jayakumar's residence, and he enjoyed the Jaffna home-cooked meal with us that was served by Jayakumar's family. I believe our strategy session was the last public function Kumar attended before his illness. We extend our profound condolence to Siva, his family, and all who loved him. Kumar's legacy of human rights, justice, and accountability will continue to guide us. His memory will live on in our hearts, and we will keep the torch of his inspiration ever burning. Thank you, Kumar, for everything.
Excuse me? Please be seated as the next announcement will come in 5 minutes. Thank you. Excuse me? Everyone is coming for refreshments. Please come back as the ceremony will start once again.
Just one more minute, we have to start the video.
Okay.
This video will go, then you can just. Listen. His name is Padmaraj. A video done by Padmaraj will be placed.
First? Okay. Do I have to announce the video?
Yeah.
What's the name? Padmaraj? announce right now? Hello, guests. I'm Yasmin Darodasim. I'm one of the grandkids of the Kumar family. Firstly, we would like to pronounce a video by Padma Raja that will dictate the life of T. Kumar. For our next speaker, I would like to announce V. Wijukumaran from the Transnational Government of Tamil Eelam. Thank you.
வணக்கம். நாடு கடந்த தமிழீழ அரசாங்கம் அதனது தூண்களில் ஒன்றை இழந்து நிற்கின்றது. ஈழத்தமிழர் தேசம் தனது ராஜதந்திரிகளில் ஒன்றை இழந்து நிற்கின்றது. உலகளாவிய மனித உரிமை சமூகம் ஒரு செயல் வீரரை இழந்து நிற்கின்றது. மானிடம் ஒரு அற்புதமான மனிதரை இழந்து நிற்கின்றது. நாடு கடந்த தமிழீழ அரசாங்கம் உருவாக்கப்பட்ட காலத்தில் இருந்து குமார் அதனுடன் சேர்ந்து பயணித்தார். நாடு கடந்த தமிழீழ அரசாங்கத்தின் ஆலோசகர்களாக, தந்திரோபாய மூலோபாய நிபுணராக, மக்கள் தொடர்பாளராக, புதிதாக உருவாகும் உறுப்பினர்களின் ஆசானாக குமார் பங்காற்றினார். ஈழத்தமிழர்களுக்கு நிகழ்ந்த இனப்படுகொலை, மானிடத்துக்கு எதிரான குற்றம், போர்க்குற்றங்கள் ஆகியவற்றுக்கான பொறுப்பு கூறல் விடயத்தில் குமார் நாடு கடந்த தமிழீழ அரசாங்கத்தின் மூலோபாய திசை காட்டியாக திகழ்ந்தார். மேலும் நாடு கடந்த தமிழீழ அரசாங்கத்தின் மில்லியன் கையெழுத்து இயக்கம், சுதந்திர பிரகடன இயக்கம், தேசிய கொடி நாள் போன்ற பல்வேறு செயல்களிலும் குமார் முக்கியமாக பணியாற்றினார். குமாருடைய தமிழ் தேசியத்துக்கான பணி 60களிலே தொடங்கிவிட்டது. குமார் ஜனநாயகத்தின் மூலக்கரு இன்றைய சிறுபான்மை நாளைய பெரும்பான்மையாக ஆறும் என்பதே. ஆனாலும் ஸ்ரீலங்காவில் புறையோடி போயிருக்கின்ற இனவாதத்தின் காரணமாக எண்ணிக்கையில் சிறுபான்மையான ஈழத்தமிழர்கள் ஒருபொழுதும் பெரும்பான்மையாக வரமாட்டார்கள். தேர்தல் அரசியல் மூலம் தமிழ் மக்களுக்கு உரிமை கிடையாது என தேர்தல் அரசியலை நிராகரித்து இளைஞர்களை திரட்டி போராட்டத்துக்கு நேரடி போராட்டத்தை ஆரம்பித்தார். தமிழீழ விடுதலை போராட்டத்தின் பிதா மகன்களில் குமார் ஒருவர். குமார் உலகில் எங்கு அநீதி நடந்தாலும் எங்கெங்கும் நீதிக்கு அது அச்சுறுத்தலாகும் என நம்பினார். உலகளாவிய மானிடத்துடன் தன்னை இணைத்துக் கொண்டார். உலகின் பகுதியிலும் மனித உரிமைகள் மீறப்படும் பொழுது அதற்காக குரல் கொடுத்தார். அவருடைய உலகளாவிய மனித உரிமைக்கான அங்கீகாரமாக நேற்றைக்கு நியூயார்க் டைம்ஸில் அவரை பற்றிய கட்டுரை வந்திருக்கின்றது. எனக்கு தெரிந்த வரையில் ஒரு ஈழத்தமிழுடைய மரபு பற்றி முதலாக ஒரு சர்வதேச ஊடகத்தில் வந்த செய்தி என்றால் அது அமரர் குமாருடைய செய்தியாகும். குமார் கடந்த 10 ஆண்டுகளாக தன்னை பொது வாக்கெடுப்புடன் இணைத்துக் கொண்டார். தமிழருடைய தேசிய பிரச்சனை ஒரு பொது வாக்கெடுப்பின் மூலமாகவே தீர்க்கப்பட வேண்டும், அதன் மூலம் தமிழ் ஈழம் பிறக்கும் என நம்பினார். தன்னுடைய திறமைகளை தாயகத்திலும் புலத்திலும் உள்ள அமைப்புகளுடன் பகிர்ந்து கொண்டார். இன்றைக்கு சமூக வலைத்தளங்களிலும் மற்றும் இரங்கல் செய்திகளும் இரங்கல் நிகழ்வுகளும் குமார் எவ்வாறு தமிழர்களை ஒன்றுபடுத்துகின்றார் என்பதை காணக்கூடியதாக இருக்கிறது. இந்த ஒற்றுமை இன்று மட்டும் நிற்கின்ற ஒற்றுமையாக மாறாமல் நிரந்தரமான ஒற்றுமையாக அரசியல் இயக்கத்துக்கு இதனை நாங்கள் மாற்ற வேண்டும். இந்த வேளையிலே எங்களுடைய கோரிக்கை தமிழ் ஈழ பொது வாக்கெடுப்புக்கான சர்வதேச அங்கீகாரமே ஆகும். குமாருக்கு நாடு கடந்த தமிழீழ அரசாங்கம் தனது வீர வணக்கத்தை செலுத்திக் கொண்டு அவருடைய உறவினர்களையும் நண்பர்களுடையும் குமார் தொட்ட ஆயிரக்கணக்கான உறவுகளின் கரங்களை பற்றி கொள்கின்றது. இன்றைக்கு நாம் ஒரு மனிதரை இழந்து விட்டோம். ஆனால் அவருடைய பணி தமிழருடைய நீதிக்கான சுதந்திரத்துக்கான போராட்டம் தொடர்ந்து நடக்கும் என்பதை உறுதி செய்கின்றது. The transnational government of Tamil Eelam has lost a strategic pillar. The Tamil nation has lost a diplomat in its struggle for the realization of its inherent right to self-determination in the form of an independent state. The global human rights community has lost a legendary defender. The humanity has lost a caring, compassionate, kind human being. Kumar was associated with the transnational government of Tamil since its inception. He served as its advisor, he served as its strategist, he served as its mass communicator, he served as a mentor for newly elected members. Kumar was the strategic compass of the transnational government, especially with respect to accountability for international crimes committed during the final stages of the war against the Tamil people by the Sri Lankan state. The monitoring and accountability panel appointed by the transnational government of Tamil Nadu following the passage of Resolution 30/1 by the Human Rights Council was Kumar's brainchild. He worked tirelessly to assemble a panel of experts from India, US, UK, France, giving the TGT the professional gravity for a government in waiting. Kumar participated in the million signature campaign calling for the referral of situation of Sri Lanka to the International Criminal Court. Within 3 months, that campaign garnered more than 1.6 million signatures. Kumar played a pivotal role in the Tamil Freedom Charter and the designation of November 21st as Tamil National Flag Day. Kumar's activism on behalf of Tamil Desiyam, on behalf of Tamil nation good, dates back in the late 60s. Kumar clearly understood that the core of democracy is today's numerical minority to become a numerical majority tomorrow through coalition building and alliances. In the island of Sri Lanka, being the numerical minority of Tamils due to pervasive and entrenched racism constituted political minority. Thus, Kumar realized that through electoral politics, Tamils cannot win their rights. Thus, he rejected electoral politics and mobilized youth for direct action. Kumar firmly believed that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Kumar subscribed to the universal moralism. He participated in fact-finding missions in many trouble spots across the globe. He served as election monitor under the guidance of late President Jimmy Carter. Kumar testified before Congress. He engaged with human rights, engaged with officials in the State Department on behalf of the victims of human rights violations across the globe. The Kumar's contribution to global human rights was recognized by the New York Times in their obituary yesterday. To my knowledge, this is the first time the demise of an Elam Tamil, or for that matter, the demise of an individual in the island of Sri Lanka was honored by such major international media. During his final days, or I would say during the last decade of his life, he devoted his life to the Tamils campaign for a referendum. It was his strategic insight to frame the Tamils' call for a referendum not merely as a political aspirations of the Tamils, but primarily as a fundamental human rights issue. He generously shared his expertise with entities in the diaspora as well as in the homeland. The collective grief expressed through social media, condolence messages and condolence events demonstrates his unifying effect across the Tamil nation. It should be noted that memorial service were held not only in the northern part of Sri Lanka, but also in the eastern part of Sri Lanka. This unity must not be a fleeting unity. We should harness this unity and channel into political action. The call of the hour is the recognition for the Tamils' call for a self-determination, for a referendum. The details can be worked out later. Today, we have lost a Mamanidar. We have lost a hero. But his life work ensures that the Tamils' cry for freedom and justice will never be silenced. The TGT salutes Kumar and express its deepest condolence to the family, to the friends, and the thousands of lives he touched, and hold their hands in the spirit of solidarity. Kumar, rest in power. Thank you.
For our next speaker, I would like to announce Aravindam J, who will read a message from Kumar's sister, Dr. Krishna.
So I'm Aravindan Jayarajasingam. I am a nephew of Kumar Mama. So I would like to read a few words from my mom, Krishna Jayarajasingam. So as follows, I am devastated that I lost my little brother who has left me. Kumar was a kind and a loving brother. She remembers that we used to play with each other as kids, as they were less than 2 years apart, and she says that I miss him dearly. When I used to work as a practicing physician at Lady Ridgeway Hospital, I used to visit him at Velikada Detention Center, and he always greeted me with a bigger smile and enjoyed the home-cooked food that I brought for him each and every time. Kumar studied hard while inside the detention center and became an exceptional human rights lawyer. More importantly, Kumar helped me and my children when we moved to the United States, and we always are grateful for his kindness and generosity. I am sad, devastated, and miss him dearly, and I will cherish his memories until we meet again. Loving sister, Krishna Jayarajasingam.
For our next speaker, I would like to announce Sujikumar N, who will read a condolence message.
விடுதலையானார் குமார், விடை பெற்றார். தமிழீழ விடுதலை போராட்டத்தை தன் உயிர் மூச்சாக கருதி வாழ்ந்த தம்பி குமார் மறைந்தார். ஈழத்தமிழ் மக்கள் பெருமை கொள்ள வேண்டிய ஈடு இணையற்ற உலக அரசியல் மேதை. வெளிச்சத்துக்கு வராத வெளிச்சம். அமைதியாக இருந்து அவர் ஆற்றிய அரிய பணியை அவரோடு நெருங்கி பழகியவர்கள் மட்டுமே அறிவர். தமிழீழத்தில் அறப்போர் நெருப்பு வெடித்தெழுந்த சூழலில் தான் மட்டு நகரில் கல்லூரி மாணவனாக பயின்று கொண்டிருந்த தம்பித்துரை நீதிபதியின் மகன் தம்பி குமார் தமிழீழ உணர்வாளனாய் விடுதலையாளனாய் உருவானார். தலை சிறந்த அரசியல் மேதையாக தலை நிமிர்ந்தார் குமார். மனித உரிமை நோக்கில் அவர் பயணம் புரிந்த 50க்கும் அதிகமான நாடுகளில் அவர் சந்தித்த உலக அரசியல் தலைவர்கள் அனைவரிடமும் இலங்கையில் நிகழும் மனித உரிமை மீறல்கள் பற்றி அவர் எடுத்துரைத்தார். தமிழீழ விடுதலை குறித்து கருத்து கணிப்பு ஒன்றை இலங்கையில் நடத்துவதன் மூலமே ஈழத்தமிழர்கள் தங்கள் விடுதலையை பெற முடியும் என்பதில் இறுதி மூச்சு வரை தளராது நம்பிக்கை கொண்டிருந்தார் குமார். வீறு கொண்ட ஈழ விடுதலையாளர் குமார் விடைபெற்றார். கவிஞர் காசி ஆனந்தன், தலைவர், ஈழத்தமிழர் நட்புறவு மையம்.
Next, I would like to announce Vijitharan V, who's from the Transnational Government of Tamil Eelam.
இன்று குமாரனை இழந்து நிற்கும் அவரது குடும்பத்தினருக்கும் அவர் பால் நேசம் கொண்ட அத்தனை பேருக்கும் முதல்கண் இங்கே வருகின்ற அத்தனை பேருக்கும் வணக்கங்களை தெரிவித்துக் கொண்டு, குமாரண்ணா என்னோடு தொடர்ச்சியாக என்னோடு கலந்துரையாடி கொண்டே இருப்பார். நான் நாடு கடந்த தமிழீழ அரசாங்கத்தின் தாயக செயற்பாட்டில் அதன் பொறுப்பாளராக நான் பயணித்துக் கொண்டிருக்கின்றேன். எங்கள் பிரதமர் விஸ்வநாதன் உருத்திரமாறன் அவர்களோடு தாயகத்தில் நடந்த அத்தனை போராட்டங்களிலும், அது P2P போராட்டமாக இருக்கலாம், வலிந்து காணாமலாக்கப்பட்ட போராட்டமாக இருக்கலாம், வடக்கிலிருந்து கிழக்கு நோக்கிய போராட்டம், அத்தனை அசைவுகளும் 2009 ஆண்டுக்கு பின்னர் நடந்த என்னோடு பயணித்த காலத்தில் அத்தனை தாயக அசைவுகளையும் குமாரண்ணா என்ற பங்கு அளப்பெரியது. அவர் பின்னால் இருந்து முழுமையான அதன் அறிக்கைகளில் இருந்து, அதை வழிநடத்துறதுல இருந்து, அதை சர்வதேச மயமாக்குறது, UN நியூஸில் அது எல்லா நாடுகளுக்கும், தூதுவரங்களுக்கும், ராஜதந்திரிகளுக்கும், ஐநாக்கு கூட எல்லா இடமும் இந்த விடயத்தை எடுத்து சென்று சர்வதேச எங்களோட விடுதலை போராட்டத்தை சர்வதேச மயமாக்கினா குமாரண்ணான்னு சொன்னால் மைய ஆகாது. இன்றைக்கு நாங்கள் அவரை இழந்து நிற்கின்றோம். எங்களுக்கு எல்லா ஒரு விடயங்களும் சம்பித்த நிலையில் இருந்தாலும் அவரது லட்சிய கனவை நாங்கள் அடைகிறதுக்காக நாங்கள் தொடர்ச்சியாக நாங்கள் அதில் பயணித்து வெற்றி அடைவோம். அவர் எங்களோடு எப்பவும் உறுதுணையாக நிற்பார் என்றதை நான் சொல்லிக்கொண்டு, அவர் என்னோடு பகிர்ந்த சில விடயங்களில் தியாகி பொன் சிவகுமாரன், தளபதி குட்டிமணி, தமிழீழ தேசிய தலைவர் மேதகு வேலுப்பிள்ளை பிரபாகரன் அவர்கள் எல்லோரும் இவரோடு கூட பயணித்த காலத்தில் இவற்றை அப்பா தமிழரசு கட்சியில் செயலாளராகவும், குமாரண்ணா ஒரு விடுதலை இயக்கத்தின் தமிழீழம் விடுதலை இயக்கம் என்ற ஒரு விடயத்தில் முழுமையாக தன்னை ஈடுபடுத்தி தேர்தல் அரசியல் ஊடாக எங்கள் நாட்டை அடைய முடியாது, நாங்கள் விடுதலை அரசியலில் தான் பயணிக்கணும் என்றதை எல்லோருக்கும் விதைச்சு விட்டு சென்றது மட்டுமல்லாமல், அவற்றை கனவு நாங்கள் எல்லோரும் சுமந்து இந்த பொது வாக்கெடுப்புன்றதன் ஊடாக மட்டும்தான் நாங்கள் எங்கிட்ட விடுதலை அடைய முடியும். இந்த சர்வதேசத்தின் மொழியில் நாங்கள் இந்த பொது வாக்கெடுப்புக்கு பல தெரிவுகள் ஊடாகத்தான் இந்த சர்வதேசம் அதை ஏற்றுக்கொள்ளும். எங்களோட மக்களின் அடிமனசில் தமிழீழம் என்ற லட்சியம் இருக்கிறதால நிச்சயமாக எங்களோட மக்கள் தமிழீழத்துக்கு வாக்களிப்பனம் என்ற எண்ணத்தை அவர் எல்லோரும் விதைச்சு சென்றிருக்கிறார். இந்த குமாரண்ணின் இழப்பால் தாயகத்தில் இருக்கிற அத்தனை பேரும், அது வலிந்து காணாமலாக்கப்பட்ட தாய்மார், பல்கலைக்கழக மாணவர்கள், P2P பேரெழுச்சி மக்கள் இயக்கம் வேலன் சுவாமிகள் உட்பட அனைவருமே அவருக்கான இரங்கலை தெரிவித்துக் கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள். அதுக்கு மேலாக வரலாற்று மையம், அதை விட தமிழீழ விடுதலை புலிகளின் அரசியல் துறை என்ற அவர்களூடாக கூடி அவருக்கான உயர்ந்த விருதாக மாமனிதர் விருதை அவர்கள் அறிவித்திருக்கிறார்கள். அப்படி தாயகத்தில் இருக்கிற அத்தனை போராட்ட சக்திகளும் இணைந்து அவருக்கான வீர வணக்கத்தை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறார்கள். அதை நான் இதில் தெரியப்படுத்தி கொண்டு என்னுடைய வீர வணக்கத்தையும் என்னுடைய குடும்பத்தாருடைய ஆழ்ந்த இரங்கலையும் அவரது குடும்பத்தினருக்கு தெரிவித்து விடைபெறுகின்றேன். தமிழரின் தலைவிதி தமிழரின் கையில், தமிழரின் தாகம் தமிழீழ தாயகம். நன்றி.
Next, I would like to announce Errol Jan Sundaram, who will be reading some condolence messages.
வணக்கம். வலிந்து காணாமலாக்கப்பட்டவர்களின் உறவுகளின் சங்கத்தினால் அனுப்பப்பட்ட செய்தியை உங்களுக்கு வாசிக்கின்றேன். கண்ணீர் அஞ்சலி. அமரர் தம்பித்துரை முத்துக்குமார் சுவாமி. யாராலும் அன்பாக குமாரண்ணா என்று அழைக்கப்படும் அமரர் தம்பித்துரை முத்துக்குமார் சாமி அவர்கள் இறைவனடி சேர்ந்தார் என்னும் துயர செய்தி கேட்டு ஆழ்ந்த கவலை அடைகிறோம். அன்னார் தமிழுக்கும் தமிழர்களுக்கும் சேவை செய்வதற்காக தன் உடல், பொருள், ஆவி அனைத்தையும் அர்ப்பணித்த பெருந்தகையாவர். எமது உறவுகளை இலங்கை அரசாங்கம், அரச படைகளும் வலிந்து காணாமல் ஆக்குவதற்கு நீதி கேட்டு போராடி கொண்டிருக்கும் எமது போராட்ட பாதையிலே அவரின் பங்களிப்பு ஒப்பற்றது. நேரம் காலம் பாராது எமக்கு உரிய ஆலோசனைகளையும் வழிகாட்டல்களையும் வழங்கி அறிவு ஆற்றல் மிக்க பண்பாளர், மனிதனுள் மாணிக்கமாக திகழ்ந்தவரும் அமைதி சாந்தம் ஆகிய நற்குணம் பொருந்திய மாமனிதர் ஆவார். அவரின் இறப்பு தமிழ் இனத்திற்கே பேரிழப்பாகும். வலிந்து காணாமல் ஆக்கப்பட்ட உறவுகள் ஆகிய நாம் அவரை பிரிந்து வாடும் அன்னாரது குடும்பத்தினரின் துயரில் பங்கு கொள்வதோடு அன்னாரது ஆத்மா சாந்தி அடைய பிரார்த்திக்கின்றோம். வடக்கு கிழக்கு வலிந்து காணாமல் ஆக்கப்பட்டவர்கள். நன்றி.
Our last speaker for today will be from Life Lessons Learned from Kumar by the nieces and nephews, Geetkanjali, Gayatri, Gopita, Kumara, Murali, Sangita, Narada, Amata, and Aravindam. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here today to honor our Kumar Mama and to support Siva Mami and our family. He had a family who deeply loved him. Many of you are here today, and many, many more are joining us through the live stream. When we think about our Kumar Mama, it's not only about what he did, it was also how he lived it. As his nieces and nephews, we had the immense gift of learning several life lessons which he quietly taught us through his consistent actions. We want to share with you some of those life lessons we learned from our dearest Kumar Mama. One of the first lessons was his integrity. Mama always did the right thing, even when it was the hardest thing to do. And even when it was inconvenient and even when no one was watching, he showed us that character is built by making choices towards the right path, which may not have been the simplest or the easiest, but it was always the one you could stand behind.
Everyone here knows about his clarity, conviction, and commitment for the Sri Lankan Tamil causes and many other people. We saw the sacrifices and hardships he endured for what he knew was right. On the personal side, we always remember Kumar Mama as the fun uncle who joked around with us and had amazing stories to tell. But we felt his character come through deeply when our family needed his help. One example is when he flew from Philadelphia to South Africa on a moment's notice to support our mother, his sister, and father during an unexpected health crisis.
The second lesson was humility. Despite his experience and wisdom, he never needed to be the loudest voice in the room. He listened more than he spoke, and when he did speak, people paid attention because his words came with empathy and thoughtfulness, never with ego.
The third lesson was responsibility. He took care of his family, near and far. He took care of his community, ocean to ocean, and he took care of his commitments, personal and professional. He knew that simply showing up, selflessly every day was part of living life to the fullest. For us personally, he was everything: an uncle, a big brother, a friend, and most importantly, a constant father figure. He was everything to us, and at all times. In our happiest memories, we remember his wittiness and the fun jokes, and in our toughest time, spreading our own father's ashes, he stood by our sides. He truly valued us, and words will never describe what he was to us.
The fourth lesson was giving back and kindness. He believed that none of us succeeded on our own, and he looked for ways, both big and small, to help along the way, whether through his time, his guidance, or quiet acts of generosity. He made a difference without expecting anything in return. Thank you.
Finally, he taught us the value of relationship. Without his guidance, support, and generosity, when we came to this country, we won't be where we are today and standing here today. People mattered to him deeply, and he invested in his family, his friends, and his colleagues. And that was very evident in a way he cared for Sivam Mami. Kumar Mama and Sivam Mami shared wonderful 25 years together, where he showed up for her every day and in every small moment. It's immensely difficult for us to say the final goodbye to our beloved Kumar Mama. We take solace in knowing that his life lessons do not live with him. It stays with us. If we carry part of his values and his life lessons forward, then his impact will continue. He could be a political prisoner, a lawyer, a human activist, a professor. For us, he's simply a loving uncle. With that, on behalf of Sivam Mami and the entire family, I'd like to thank all of you for coming here, near and far, in this frigid, cold weather. Thank you for all the presenters sharing great memory about our beloved uncle. Thank you for the funeral home, live stream, and all the organizers. Thank you for all the condolence messages and memorial services all over the world. We are overwhelmed by the kindness. Thank you, Ranjananna, for his support and guidance to plan this difficult event. Dara, Rajananna, thank you for helping us. And there are many others we missed in this list. Please accept our sincere appreciation for your kindness. Thank you. You can put the music. We will continue the viewing until 7 p.m.